Last time we filmed one of these, we were sat like on the sofa in the corner.
What sofa?
And now, now we're sat on the floor. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, wrote to Stephen for today's video because we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A, and we've not done one of these for a while.
No, as you said, well, the last time we did one, we were sat on the sofa. We no longer have one of those, so... Yeah,
for anyone new, we're moving, that's why. But yeah, I've got a list of questions that you guys asked on like Instagram, and I kind of consolidated them a little bit because some of them were kind of like general kind of theme. So, got a bit of a mix going on. I think we're just gonna literally dive straight in. Oh god, that's hot. Right, question number one. Steve hasn't seen these questions. Stop trying to cheat. Oh, no. Steve hasn't seen the questions. So, first question is, what are your plans for Christmas Day? Bit of a weird one, the whole Christmas subject, because we thought we would have moved by now. We thought we were going to move end of October. So, we presume it's very unlikely we're going to move before Christmas. But I think plan is that we're going to be here, then Christmas Day we will be going to Steve's mum's house and spending the Christmas Day with his family.
Yeah.
Coming back here probably like in the evening, like staying here, and then the next day for like Boxing Day, I think the plan is to drive up to my parents, which is like an hour away, so it's not that far, and spend like a day or two at theirs, and then just kind of come back and chill really.
Yeah.
We don't really have, we've tried to like not make plans because we didn't know like if we'd be moving or not, so that is it.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like a constant not knowing is so frustrating for us all at the moment, like
yeah,
where we're going to be.
It's been difficult for us to make plans because we haven't known where we're going to be living and we don't know when we're moving, so it's a little bit of a downer on it, but we're trying not to let it get to us too much. Next question, do you have plans to get married? We get this question all the time. I feel like people ask because they think it might be like an awkward subject, but we've talked about this all the time.
100%. We've covered this in previous Q&As, haven't we? I mean, it's one of those things. Obviously, you're not going to talk about getting married until I propose, are you? So, it's one of those things.
I don't have plans to get married because obviously I don't have a ring on my finger.
I've not done my bit. No, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, we've openly discussed it and said that we're both open to the idea. So it's not like, you know, one of us is anti-marriage or anything like that.
I think, like, basically we both want to get married. I don't think either one of us is that bothered about having a big wedding.
No.
I think it's just each to their own, but we would like to get married, but I think at the moment we are prioritising other things, and I think even if we were to get engaged, I couldn't imagine like we would get married ASAP. I just don't think it's a huge priority. Would I like a ring on my finger? Yeah, I would, but like I think the way we think about it is that it wouldn't really change like our day-to-day living that much. Like if we were to, it wouldn't really change anything for us. We're already like in a committed relationship and we've got like a house, dogs together, and yeah, that's just our kind of take on it. And then leading on from that.
Okay. That leads on. That's a leading question, is it? Okay, good.
Or you get asked this a lot as well. Are you having a baby / do you want kids? I think the are you having a baby one, that maybe people think that we are actually having a baby because my sister's pregnant. And I feel like people kind of noticed early on when I was talking more about kids and kids stuff, but that is not because I am pregnant or like I'm gonna be pregnant in the near future. I'm really excited to be an auntie. Like I've been wanting to be an auntie for a really long time. I'm super excited. So if you see a bit of like a change in me that I'm talking about kids more, that is why. It's not because we're getting baby fever. But like, do we want kids? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I think in the future, yes. But as Louise has said, there's no immediate rush on that, much the same as the marriage sort of thing. But I think for us, obviously you've touched on becoming an auntie. I'm an only child, so this is I'm vicariously uncling through Louise, which I'm very much looking forward to. but I don't think the timing would be right for us to have our own kid just yet.
There's so many more things that we want to do before we have kids.
Yeah.
Because I think we're just like, yeah, I've said this before, but we don't really want to not be selfish. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Like, we want to be able to prioritise ourselves at the moment. Like, having 2 dogs is kind of enough.
I mean, we're only 30.
Yeah, we're only 30. I mean, there will come a point where I will start to kind of probably, like, I feel that there's so much pressure on women to have kids by a certain age. So I imagine, like, I will feel that at some point, but right now I don't. And I don't want to feel pressured to have kids because I don't really think that's a good reason to have them.
Yeah.
But we would like to have a family.
Yeah.
I grew up with, like, 2 siblings, so... like, I've got quite like a close-knit family. Like Steve said, he was an only child, so I think like what we've spoken about before is like the ideal would be to have 2 kids.
Yeah.
That's what we would kind of think, but you never know.
Not that I would change anything about being an only child. I was spoiled rotten, so you know, there are perks to it as well, guys. There are perks to it as well.
But yeah, I think we would like that one day. Today's not the day. We're kind of working on our careers and just, you know, wanting to do other stuff before then.
Yeah.
So don't be expecting any announcements anytime soon, guys. Sorry. It's just going to be auntie duties for me.
Yeah.
And uncle duties for you.
Oh, Auntie Lou.
Yeah.
She's going to be the fun auntie who just fills them with sugar and then hands them back.
No, I get really excited about like buying stuff.
Yeah.
And like buying like cute little outfits and stuff. So I'll be that kind of auntie. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you answer this and then I'm going to tell my side of the story.
Oh, God.
Who said I love you first?
Me. Vicariously. Not directly. It was in a Christmas card, wasn't it? So, like, you know, it's one of those things that it's this time of year. It's very convenient that question's rolled around. So, I can't remember. It was either an elf-themed or a Grinch-themed Christmas card.
It was an elf Christmas card.
I knew
we still got it.
In the memory box. So, I was like, I said, in our cards to each other, birthdays, Christmases, all of that sort of stuff, we usually write a message in there, don't we? On like the inside back of the card or something like that, you know, just, you know, something that is nice.
Mm-mm.
And
we keep them all in like a memory box, basically.
Yeah, and in that I said something along the lines of XYZ, that's why I love you, and then I was like, yeah, I said it, I love you.
I don't know. Do you know what's really annoying is that we've packed the box. Like, the box that has all the memory stuff, because we could get it out and, like, prove who's right. But it just said, like, oh, like, Merry Christmas, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, love you, Steve. So I thought that was just kind of like, oh, like, you know, love you, mate. Like, I don't know. And then you were, like, adamant for ages after that you'd already said it. And I was like, you have never said it to my face. So your version of saying I love you was writing it in a...
Yeah.
In an elf Christmas card.
You like Elf? What is your problem?
I like the movie. I just want it like a love letter in an elf card. I feel like you've learnt more about me, like,
I mean, that was our...
since then.
Yeah.
That was like our first Christmas as a couple. Yeah. And like now I think you know that I prefer more the kind of like cutesy and cards that look nice. Rather than like really gaudy elf cards.
I have learnt, don't worry, I've learnt.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? It was like, when we first started dating someone, you're like, do they, don't they? It was a bit like that. But yeah.
No one wants to be in that position where they say that and then the other person be like, oh yeah, I really like spending time with you as well. Like, nobody wants that, do they?
No, it's awkward. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Right. I'll let you answer this first as well, because I like putting you on the spot.
Okay, that's fine.
If you could change one thing about each other, what would it be? I've had time to think about this, and I can't pinpoint what I would change.
Which particular thing that
yes,
irritates
it's one
me.
of many.
I don't know, you know.
Don't say something really like, oh, I haven't changed anything about you. There is definitely something.
No, say yours and then I'll say mine. Well, like you, as you said, you've had time to think, so give me a sec.
I think the thing that I would change about you is your patience.
Yeah, valid.
I feel like this includes like you guys and my family as well. Everyone's always like, God, Steve, he's so nice, he's so chilled out, and he's so not. I mean, you are majority of the time. You are majority of the time, but you have a really...
Remember what you said you changed? My patience.
Shut up. So like, you get really frustrated really easily.
It's true.
Not with absolutely everything, but like Steve gets frustrated and wound up pretty easily, and then he just like goes into grump mode. Yeah. So like that is like the one thing I would probably change is just the patience, especially when it comes to like DIY and stuff.
I'm awful at DIY.
Oh my God.
Or if I've had like a bad day or I'm in a mood or something, I turn quite... Not vicious. Vicious is not.
No,
right
you're
word.
not. You're not vicious, but
I'm a bit like bit moody, bit short,
like
bit snappy.
Grumpy old man vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. I think for you potentially is
potentially you're walking on eggshells already, aren't you?
Yeah, is the way you change your mind about things, because you
were going to say something
because
like that.
Right, in these situations, Louise is always thinking, right? So let's take the house move, for example. Always thinking, always trying to make the best of the situation, which is why she is so good at what she does, okay? The house that we're, fingers crossed, touch wood, all thoughts moving into, Louise has, like, planned the floor plan, square footage within an inch of its life. But something that you do is that we will have a conversation, and it will be a case of, I think we've come to a conclusion on something. However, because we are not in the situation right now, that will change 10 to 15 times before we get there.
Yeah, so I think the thing is, most of the time, once I set my sights on something, I'm like, right, that's what we're doing, done. But I think sometimes when I'm like planning stuff, I'm like, oh, this, oh, shiny, oh, this.
Yeah.
And that's like the inside of my brain is like that. I'm literally just thinking of like 10,000 things at a time. So then I voice that to Steve, and he's just like, what is going on?
I find it difficult to keep up sometimes. That's for sure.
I do get that, and like sometimes we'll be talking about one thing, and I talk about something else, and then talk about something else. And like, I feel like it's just me going with what's inside my head. So yeah, like I'm not surprised you said that. I figured you'd probably say something like that.
Yeah. It's not a massive criticism, it's just, as I said, sometimes I just can't keep up.
Yeah, it's like a excitement thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing too major. Right. Complete change of direction. What breed are your dogs? What breed dogs do you have?
We have two capuchons. One of them is asleep on my lap right now. The other one is sat behind Louise.
One of them's Rocky. I don't think you can see him, the blonde one. This one is our firstborn. This is Rocky. They are both capuchons. So we actually got Rocky from
He does not want to be here right now.
No, he does. He just slipped over. We got Rocky from a breeder. So he is a capuchon. He is half toy... Don't sniff your brother's business. He is half toy poodle, quarter cavalier, quarter bichon. So his mum was a capuchon. He's 3 now, and he's done. He's off. And this is Milo, who is also a capuchon.
Here he is.
Milo's 1. Yeah. And he's a rescue. So we were told he's a capuchon. We're not even entirely sure he is. There's no paperwork to say he is.
You are.
But why do you look so scared?
I just woke him up, that's why. He was curled up asleep on my lap, sorry.
So yeah, Milo's a rescue. He was an unsold puppy, so he is also a capuchon. Same breed as Rocky, but they do actually look quite different, and they're quite different builds. So we're not entirely sure what ratio you are we?
No.
I don't think he's half poodle.
No, Rocky's half poodle and is quite leggy, isn't he?
I reckon he's half bichon, you know. Oh, he's such a precious little soul. Look at that. Oh.
Loves attention, loves being close to you.
Yeah, proper mummy's boy as well.
I was going to say, he sticks to Louise like glue, so that's why I was surprised he was on my lap, and
here he goes.
And here he goes.
Yeah.
Because I woke him up.
I feel bad, because I feel like sometimes in like videos and stuff, that Milo's the one that's like always on the camera, but that is honestly purely because Rocky is like a lone ranger. He likes doing his own thing. He likes being independent. he's really affectionate and cuddly on his own terms, whereas Milo is down to cuddle like 24/7.
I'd still say for the most part though, whilst Rocky likes doing his own thing, he still likes being in your presence.
Yeah, he'll be in the same room as you, but he won't be like this.
Like, as you can see right now, Milo is very intent at being sat on Louise's lap. Rocky is more than happy to chew his antler sat just behind us. So
yeah.
That's
And
it.
that's how it is. So yeah, that was a long-winded way of answering the questions. They're both Capuchons.
Yes.
I have done separate videos on like Rocky and where we got him from and the whole process and everything. So those are on my channel somewhere. Next question. How is the house move going? Well, by looking behind us, it's not going. Yeah, so situation with that, I don't think I've really spoken about it. Oh no, maybe I have. I don't know, I forget. So we were meant to move 22nd of October. Literally everyone, I think there's only five of us in the chain.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge chain. All of us were ready apart from the person at the bottom of the chain, the beginning of the chain, whatever you call it. So we've basically been waiting on this one person for like 2 months now.
Yeah.
And literally everyone in the chain is just like so frustrating because we were literally had all agreed on a date. I was like emailing people, like calling people, like, is this going to happen? This was in October. And they were like, yeah, it's happening. And we were like, oh God, we're going to put all our stuff in storage because, in case you don't know, we're moving from Bristol to Cardiff, hopefully. And we want to move the stuff ourselves as a more cost-effective way to do it. And we don't have a lot of stuff because we actually sold quite a lot of stuff as well because we're moving into a renovation project and we just wanted to start from like scratch. So we put all our stuff in storage and then literally the day after I found out that it had been postponed. But we thought it'd be postponed by like a week or two. And it's been like 2 months. Here we are in December and it's still not happened yet. We're really, really hoping. And I've had so many messages from you guys saying you've had really similar situations, which really sucks. And I feel like it is extra difficult moving at the moment, like post, I was gonna say post-pandemic, but it's not even post-pandemic.
No.
But there was like a massive surge and I feel like there is still a huge backlog. So, yeah. The next question was any idea on moving dates, and the answer is no. We'll kind of answer that anyway.
Yeah.
We're hoping that we can exchange contracts this month.
Yes.
We're really hoping, with a view to move like very beginning of January, but we've been saying this for so long, we just don't know. And I feel like mentally I've gone from being like, we're moving, to then being like super panicked, like when are we moving, to now just giving up. I'm being like, we'll move and we move.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because we spent a lot of money on storage that we didn't need to spend money on. We've been living out of suitcases. Don't get us wrong, like it's really frustrating, but we're just at the point where we're like, there's no point like overthinking it too much. It'll happen when it happens. We are chasing really regularly. Our solicitors are amazing. We've used them so many times. They are incredible. But because I had a few comments from people saying, make sure you chase up your solicitors. Our solicitors are not the issue. It's like a first time buyer. It's their kind of like issues with their lender and issues with their solicitors and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of out of our hands as to what happens.
Go ahead, Rocky.
I thought this was a good question. How does it feel to move to a new area?
You're probably better place to answer this one than I am, because you've moved to more new areas than me, I guess.
I grew up moving around a lot. I really love moving. I love putting myself in new, what's it called? Not new scenarios,
situations.
But I like the change basically. I feel like maybe I confused some people because previously I made a joke about us moving to a different country. Because technically we're moving from England to Wales, but just to put it into context for people who don't know, it's probably about an hour drive from where we currently live.
Yeah.
So it's not far. It's not actually that far from our friends and family and stuff. So I'm really excited. I feel like if this was like a more of a permanent home that we were moving into, that I would be more nervous about whether I would like it or not. However, we have already agreed that this isn't going to be like a forever dream home or anything. This is somewhere that we are going to go in, renovate, make it really lovely, and then sell on and move again. So if we move to Cardiff and we hate it, we'll just move in a couple of years, you know, worst case scenario. So I'm really, really excited. I'm really up for a change. Yeah, should be really good.
Yeah, but I mean, you've bounced around a bit as well. Obviously, you said about when you were younger, but you know, grew up in Suffolk, went to university in London, moved to Bristol. So you've bounced around a couple different cities anyway. So whereas I am a little bit more plain and routine. I grew up in Bristol. I lived in Cardiff for 2 years, and now I live in Bristol again. So I've not exactly ventured very far.
It's kind of a security blanket knowing that you have previously lived in Cardiff though, because Steve studied there for a little while.
Yeah.
So
Loved
Steve
it.
does know the area like relatively well.
Yeah.
I don't know it that well at all, but where we're living is like very, very different to where you would have lived previously, because you would have been like a student and
100%.
living a bit more central and stuff. So yeah, should be really, really interesting. We're very excited.
Yes. When it happens, finally.
God,
Soon.
we hope, because
Touch wood.
like last week I was stress crying because we got given an ultimatum by our seller. The place we're buying basically was threatening to pull out. So like, just to put it out there, this may not even happen. Like, that is just the nature of moving house in the UK. Stuff like the table can be flipped at any point. So we'll see. Hopefully we will have good news to share with you guys pretty soon. Another question was, will you still be close to family and friends? So like I've already said, it's only like an hour away from where we currently live.
Yeah.
We currently live about an hour away from my parents. By moving to Cardiff, we will still be an hour away.
Yeah.
So that makes no difference for like my kind of family. The only thing is that my sister does live in the same kind of area that we currently live. And obviously with her having a baby, I think like that will be the one main struggle for me, is that we will be further away, but it's going to be an hour drive. It's not the end of the world. We can still like have them over for weekends. We can pop back anytime, day trips. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we're moving a million miles away. So I think it'll be fine. Same with friends as well. Like, we'll have friends come and stay with us. We have some friends who are potentially going to be moving to a similar area as well.
Yep.
So it's not going to be as dramatic as I think something people may think it could be.
No.
It's not that far away.
No, exactly. I mean, I've got a few friends who live in Wales already. Got a couple who, well, you said that will be moving as well. Yes, we are moving further away from my family as well, but as Louise has said, my family live in Bristol as well, so it's not a million miles away. You can be here in inside an hour, especially from where we're moving.
Yeah. We're quite close to the motorway, so it's just easy to kind of jump on the motorway and come back.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, it's just like an opportunity to meet new people as well. Like,
100%.
Obviously we'll be keeping in contact with our friends, but like, doesn't mean that we can't make new relationships and friends with people. So, you know.
Exactly.
I'm really bad at making friends. I probably won't make any friends. I'm very like socially awkward in situations like that. So Steve's really good at making friends. You'll just have to make friends on my behalf.
I can talk to anyone. I'll talk to a wall. It's fine.
Yeah, Steve has like talked to a tree many times before. But yeah, I find it really difficult. But I'm gonna try and push myself out my comfort zone. Meet some new people. I think it'll be good for me.
Yeah.
Next question. Okay, this is one of my most favourite questions. What are you looking forward to the most about getting into your new house? If it happens. You go first.
For me, it's very much almost taking it back to a blank canvas. Now, when we moved into this place, because it was a new build, it was a blank canvas, but it was fresh, you know? And I know that sounds stupid, but you know, when you move into a new build, we got told we couldn't paint for a year. And
that's to do with letting the walls breathe, in case anyone has any questions about
that. But it's all stuff like that. Everything was new and polished and ready to go. Whereas this is going to be, you know, a blank canvas in a completely different manner. We're going to go in, we're going to strip the wallpaper, we're going to take loads of stuff out of the house, and then we get to put, I say we get to put our own footprint on it. We get to put Louise's footprint on it, because I am useless at this
My
sort
kind of
stuff.
style, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to the most, is actually using it as a project and being able to put our own stamp on it.
Yeah, so I pretty much agree with what Steve said. I'd say, like, on top of that, I'm just really looking forward to moving to a new area. Like I said, I kind of like the change and switching it up. The area that we are potentially moving to is so nice. Like, it's really green. We're in like a nice little quiet cul-de-sac. Like, it's just like, it seems really, really nice. And actually loads of you guys have messaged me saying that the area that we're moving to is like really, really nice. So it's really nice just to have like confirmation from other people that it is actually like a really nice area. So I'm looking forward to that. And like Steve said about the house itself, yeah, like when we moved in here, it was kind of a bit soulless, like just white boxy rooms. We've obviously tried to do the best that we can, but it's going to be so nice. Like, one of the things that I have found frustrating about a new build is that I haven't been able to customize it to exactly how I want.
Right.
So like, that's not knocking new builds at all, but like, I want to go in and be able to like customize things as much as possible to how I want them. And like, it's just silly stuff like tile choices and like being able to choose literally whatever I want, whatever layout I want.
Kitchen and
yeah, just things like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with our kitchen, there's nothing wrong with our house at all. Like, it is really nice, but it's just that I kind of felt like I missed having that process of being able to like fully design everything. And I get that not everyone likes that. But yeah, I'm really excited to be able to go in and do everything from scratch. I'm also really excited about the new floor plan. It's very, very different to our house. So our current house is on 3 floors. So we have our like kitchen diner downstairs, we have our lounge and like a couple of bedrooms on this floor, and then a couple more bedrooms on the top floor. So we're going from 3 floors down to 1 because it's a bungalow. And it would be really interesting to see what that's like. I've never lived in a bungalow.
No.
You've never lived in a bungalow.
No.
Yeah, and like, do you know what? When we were looking for houses, we were like, we're not going to rule out a bungalow. We obviously wanted to consider them, but so many of them, we hated the floor plan. This is the only bungalow that we saw go on the market that we liked the floor plan, because you literally walk in and then it splits in 2. It's like living area and then like the bedrooms and stuff. And we just love that kind of separation. We don't want to walk down a hallway past all the bedrooms to get to like the living area, and we wanted the living area to be backing onto the garden. And yeah, the floor plan is just like
pretty much perfect.
Yeah,
for
like
what we were looking for, I'd say.
We're obviously going to customize quite a lot of bits. There's a wall that we're definitely going to be smashing down, but apart from that, the whole like kind of structure of the house is really, really nice. Right, so I think that's all the house stuff.
Okay.
Right, my camera stopped recording. But yeah, we've got a couple more questions left, which are about our jobs. So first one is, what do you both do for a living?
Shall I go first?
Yeah.
So I work in digital marketing, so website-y stuff, written copy, social media, paid advertising, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I am a UX UI designer. After I explain what that is now. So UX is basically user experience. So I work in digital as well. Like, I basically work on like websites, apps, things like that. User experience is to do with a user's journey when you use kind of those kind of products. And then UI is user interface. So it's like designing how those look, basically, in a nutshell. So essentially I'm kind of like a designer of like websites and apps and stuff. I don't build them, that's a developer, because I think that's what people think I do sometimes, but I literally just like design them. I do a lot of like user research stuff, like run research projects and stuff to kind of find out what people want.
It's basically how it looks and how it functions, right, are the main 2 components of what you do.
Yeah, that is it. And then the other question was basically like about that we've both basically recently changed jobs and how they're going.
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah. Looking forward to a Christmas break though, I think.
Yeah, I think we're both like, it's like, you know, end of year, just like feeling tired, having the house move on top of everything as well. It's like, I think we're so ready for like a break over Christmas. But yeah, I feel like with both our jobs, there's highs and there's lows. Like, I think everyone pretty much gets that, where you have days when you're like, oh my God, I hate this, it's so annoying. But you also have days where like it's really positive.
Really
yeah, like my job's going okay. I have quite a few frustrations in my job at the moment, which I'm trying to work out with them. Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one. Like, this is all stuff that I would say to my colleagues anyway, but I think there is a lot of frustrations with who I work for, being very, very old school. And yeah, I think there's some things that we need to work out about my role and my responsibilities. I think I've made it very clear that basically if we can't resolve those, that I don't think I'll stay there much longer. But if we can resolve them, then happy days. But yeah, it's just one of those things, like good days, bad days, a lot of frustrating days.
I was going to say, I think with us as well, we're quite stressed because of the house move as well. So, you know, that sort of situation doesn't help as well. So I think it's going to get to a point once we've touch wood moved house, where you and I both just go like big deep breaths, just like massive reset, start again. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, I think like probably more, I don't know so much about your role, but like for me, I am pretty fortunate with my role that if I was really struggling at work, or like I did want to change it up, that there is a lot of contract work, so I have potential to do that if I'm not enjoying it. Like I've always said that like if I'm really, really not enjoying my job and like I wake up and I just feel miserable, don't want to go to work, that I will just hand in my notice, because I don't think it's worth feeling like that. Like your job is such a big part of your life, how many hours you spend at work, that if I did get to that point in my role, I would hand in my notice and I would be able to contract and pick up work that way. So I'm lucky that I have a lot of flexibility there, but we'll see. It's a really good company to work for, so I'm hoping that we can kind of like resolve a couple of things that are going on, which sounds really like dramatic and like, but it's not really. It's more just like team structure and stuff like that. So yeah, that was all of the questions.
Was it? Okay, cool.
No proper juicy ones. Nobody ever really asked like proper juicy ones, but I don't know what those would be, but
no, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice just to do these like Q&As, because I forget, like obviously when new people like subscribe to the channel, that they may not know like the background about us and things that are going on and all that kind of jazz.
I guess so with like, you know, the puppy question or dog question. Sorry, they're not puppies anymore.
They are puppies.
The dog question and stuff like that, you know, it's always good to sort of sit down and find out what you guys want to know, really. Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a lot of comments and messages about new house content. Everyone is very, very excited for new house content. Trust me.
So are we.
No one is more excited than me. So that, I mean, touch wood, I don't want to jinx anything, but that should be, touching my wood, that should be coming hopefully in the near future. But obviously we'll be updating you guys as when we hear stuff.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We've got stuff going on. Oh, my dad's calling me. Right, well, I think we're going to wrap this video up here. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
That's okay. Oh, hello, Milo.
You guys seem to really love having Steve on the channel. And I think you love the attention. So
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
But yeah, thank you guys for all your questions. We hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. And we will see you guys, go away. We'll see you guys in the next video.